All right, what's up, everybody? A lot of time and often as I'm riding around, I get a chance to listen to the news up on the hour. So I thought it might be a good idea for me to give you guys my reaction to the most current news. So we're just waiting. Got about a minute or so before the news comes on. And my heart goes out to all those folks down in my home state, Texas, who are dealing with all the flooding, excuse me, and the storm that is passing. So I know that's going to be one of the news stories. And here we go. Let's see.
Why just the one whistleblower? I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. President Trump says if he did something wrong, why didn't anyone else complain about a supposedly dicey conversation with a foreign leader?
The president tweeting about that whistleblower's complaint, writing strange that with so many other people hearing or knowing of the perfectly fine and respectful conversation, that they would not have also come forward. Do you know the reason why they did not? Because there was nothing said wrong. It was pitch perfect. The tweet in response to a Washington Post story that claims the complaint involved the president's communications with the president of Ukraine and a promise that the president made, which was reportedly so alarming that the whistleblower reported it to the Inspector General of the intelligence community. At the White House, John Decker, Fox News.
The president today is being presented, we're told, with a list of possible airstrike targets in Iran, should he choose to retaliate militarily for an attack on a Saudi Arabian oil facility. One of the Democrats running for president, Hawaii Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, tells Fox Business Network if an airstrike happens,
it's going to be this cycle of retaliation that would lead to an all-out inferno, not just in Iran, but across the region, across the Middle East. This is not an outcome that best serves our military, the American people, or our taxpayers.
New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, meantime, has ended his campaign for the Democratic Party presidential nomination. He was at 0% or close to it in most of the polls and didn't qualify for the most recent debate. President Trump on Twitter sarcastically calls this really big political news, perhaps the biggest story in years. In addition to all the flooding in southeast Texas, a major bridge east of Houston shut down. Barges broke loose and hit it.
The Coast Guard did get involved. Now, we understand at least 9 barges have been damaged. They're going to have to assess the damage.
Nate Griffin with Fox 26 Houston. At least 2 people have died in this flooding. America's listening to Fox News.
All right, so let's recap. And I'm gonna give you guys my take on everything that we just heard. And this is like the second or third time I've heard this morning. That's what gave me the idea to give you guys a response and reaction to what I thought. And this is only my opinion, and I hope I don't make any enemies, and I hope I don't create any friends. It's just the way I see things. So number one, the flooding down in Texas. I have a friend that actually lives in Houston. I was like, hey, how's everything going? And they got flooded out in the last storm. I think that was Harvey. And this time, you know, she told me that they were doing okay. She and her family are doing okay, which is great. I also asked her to send me some video of what's going on from down there, and hopefully she'll send that to me soon, and I'll be able to put it in a video for you guys. So Bill de Blasio, whatever. These people are so, and I want to preface everything I'm about to say that I'm neutral, okay? I do applaud the president for not, because I was expecting sometime this week to wake up one of these mornings and to have a news story that we had already struck Iran with, you know, missiles and all this kind of stuff and tomahawks. So I applaud the restraint. And whether you feel that there was a strike on the Saudi Arabia oil field, or there wasn't a strike and this is just a red flag, because I know a lot of us are conspiracy theorists. A lot of times y'all be right, but I want to applaud the president for not striking and getting different options, and even publicizing that he's getting options. I think that is there's a major restraint. However, I think that the president actually, you know, I think he brought some of this on by really trying to dismantle the Obama deal with Iran. So I think some of that is probably stemming from that deal. And then there's so much history in the Middle East that we are unaware of, and then so much that we've been involved in that we, the public, are unaware of, that we may never know the real story. Okay? This guy who just dropped out the presidential race, I find it amazing that these folks get into the race, into the president candidacy. And I have no clue of how much money it costs for someone to get into the race. Whatever, even if it's local. I got a friend up in the Illinois area, and they ran for local government seats. I can't remember what the title was, but they told me they spent upwards to I think it was like $8,000-9,000 just for their campaign. And I'm like, wow, does public service mean that much to me? Not right now. I can't say it won't in the future, but right now, I can spend that kind of money on something else that's gonna, help advance my family. So, but like I told you guys, as soon as I heard about the strikes, like I told you guys then, I was like, don't be surprised if America sends some bombs somewhere. Don't be surprised. And don't be surprised if it's not sent to where supposedly the strike came from. I don't know. That's beyond my pay grade. That's beyond my understanding. I know that it has a lot to do with oil and the reserves and the resources that the Middle Eastern countries have. But hey, it is what it is. So I just thought it'd be neat to give you guys my reaction. I'm trying to think what the first story was, because I was really surprised that the first story was the first story. I thought the first story would have been the flooding in Texas. Oh, that's what it was. It was was it a Washington Post article about the president having said something that they were eavesdropping on, and one person came forward. That ever since the president's been in office, they've been, and the same thing goes with when the Democrats are in office. Both parties are going to, nitpick and find things. And the same thing when President Obama was in office. All the Republican talking heads and the Republican committee and delegates and everything, they were finding things, for fault with President Obama. Same thing with President Trump. The opposite party, that's their job. Their job is to find dirt, find things that were said, not said, should have been said different, should have been said better. That's their job to find things. And what's funny, these folks can talk about some of everything, and you'll see them shaking hands, being cordial. Because for them, it's all politics. And I guess they look at politics as we look at, like, board games. During the board game, you are my enemy. When the board game is over, we're friends, and everything that was said and everything that was done, or video games, everything that was said and everything was done during the video game, hey, it was just a game. Me, personally, I would take some of that stuff personally. I would take it personally. And I have very thick skin. It's funny, I had I put up a video earlier, and somebody was like, golly, 5 views and a dislike already? And I responded, I was like, hey, everybody's not gonna like you. And that's a good point to take for the rest of your life. Everybody's not gonna like you. But make sure that you like yourself. That's a good one right there. Everybody's not gonna like you. Make sure you like yourself. And what does that mean? That means that do the things that you know are right. Do the things that you know make you feel comfortable. Do the things that you know make you feel good. As long as you're not hurting anybody, as long as you're not stepping on somebody else to get to the top, I don't really have a problem with it. Get your self-confidence to the point where you're feeling good, and forget what everybody else has to say. You know, I had for many years, because the way I was reared and raised, for many years, I lived my life trying to make other folks happy. And one day I woke up and I said, you know what? I can't keep doing this because I'm unhappy. It's hard enough. Listen to me. It's hard enough to live in, I was going to say in this country, but it's hard enough to live on this planet and just get up every day and just push forward. It's hard enough to do that. Why make things harder for yourself by trying to make someone else happy about your life and what you're trying to do? You know, if you like eating buns and honey buns and doggone Cracker Jacks, now eating that kind of stuff, it has consequences. And remember, with everything, there's always an equal and an opposite reaction, right? I think somebody famous said that. Can't remember who said it, but just remember, with everything that you choose, there are always going to be good and bad, or positive and negative, or things that we like to happen and things that we don't like to happen from every choice and every response that we make. Perfect example. Somebody give me a dislike this morning. I didn't even notice it, to be honest with you. I didn't notice until the person had commented. And I was like, you know what? I appreciate them disliking my video. Because guess what? At least they took the time out of their life and they watched enough to notice they didn't like it. Now, I don't know if they watched the whole thing, or, you know, maybe it was just one part that they didn't like. And if they didn't, that's their prerogative. I think that's where we have gone wrong in this country, the U.S. I think we try to control everybody's mindset and everybody's opinion. And you can't do that. Because we're all different. We're all human. We're all individuals. And we all have been raised different. Even though we may come from the same area. Even though we might come from the same house. You know, for example, my sister and I, we're two totally different people. We were raised in the same house. I know twins that are two totally separate people. And they shared the womb together. So who am I to go crazy, go off, go left field when somebody gives me a dislike, or when somebody gives me a derogatory comment? That is your opinion. And you're entitled to that. And your opinion is truth because it's yours. Now, for everyone that dislikes, hopefully I have 100 that do like. Because if you get to the point where you have more dislikes than you do likes, then you might have a challenge. And the challenge is you may have a challenge in moving forward in what you're trying to achieve. So hopefully you guys enjoyed news with me. And I knew if we listened to the news together, I knew I would go off on a tangent of things to talk about. So if you like this content, you want more of it, consider subscribing, or go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified when most of my content comes out, because I've noticed that with YouTube, even though you might have the bell and you might be subscribed, you don't always get the updated information. So if you like my channel, which I hope you do, wink wink, then not only subscribe and hit the bell, but come back and check the page often. You know, go to Plant-Based Homestead Prepper, go to the page itself and scroll. You know, we're putting up a ton of videos right now. And you know, I was going back, I always go back through and I watch some of the old ones. And in the last 2 months, these videos have gotten a lot better. And the first few videos I did, I was like, oh my God, they were terrible. Not that they're great now. They're getting better. But I didn't have a mic then. I didn't know how to record. I was recording vertically. It's amazing. It's funny how you progress and you get better. And in every situation, I want you guys to remember this. You either win or you learn. You get better or you get bitter. You either win or you learn. And most of the time you win while you're learning. Because you never lose. You're never going to lose as long as you're learning. Because the next time you get ready to do it, you know what doesn't work. Make sense? And then you can either get better or you can get better. I choose to learn and I choose to get better. So hopefully you do too. So hit the bell icon, hit the subscribe, make your comments, even if it's derogatory. Make your comments. I like going through reading the comments. I like going through having a back and forth with you guys, a dialogue with you. And a lot of times you guys give me good material to talk about in your comments. So thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting the bell icon. Thank you for commenting, and thank you for sharing. I noticed a lot of you guys have started sharing, and I appreciate that. Thank you for helping me build the channel. So as always, I love you. And I used to have this. I had this saying that I used to say in my group all the time. I love you enough to tell you the truth, and I think I'm gonna go back to saying that on here because I do. I love you enough to tell you the truth. All right, y'all be blessed. Take care. See you in the next video.